else is looked at as a pure wrestling match. Now at WrestleMania 28, I talked about CM Punk versus Chris Jericho so much leading up to the match, and I talked about it for months on this YouTube channel. After it happened at WrestleMania 28, I said that was the best pure wrestling match that I had seen in years, because it was one of the best. And if Shawn Michaels comes out of retirement for WrestleMania 30, that to me will be one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, because I mean it's been 4 years. Shawn Michaels even said it himself when he accepted the Slammy for Double Cross in 2013. He said, it's been 4 years since his retirement, and it took him 4 years to win a Slammy Award for Double Cross after how many double crossing moments he was involved in. I mean, the very first SmackDown, he super kicked The Rock to retain the title for Triple H. On the very first SmackDown, in the very first main event when he was a special referee back in 1999. The double cross of Bret Hart Survivor Series in 1997, ever before the first ever SmackDown when he super kicked The Rock, which was ultimately the only moment that Shawn Michaels was ever involved with in The Rock that was looked at as a history-defining moment and a career-defining moment for both Shawn Michaels and The Rock. It was either Shawn Michaels super kicking The Rock on SmackDown or Shawn Michaels super kicking X-Pac during the match with The Rock. Those were really the only two moments that Shawn Michaels and The Rock were ever involved in. And I would even go for Shawn Michaels versus The fucking Rock if it were to happen at WrestleMania 30. But I want to know who you want to see Shawn Michaels face at WrestleMania. Is it in fact Shawn Michaels versus Daniel Bryan? Is it in fact Shawn Michaels versus CM Punk? Is it in fact Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, which I know you probably don't want to see, because I mean we've seen Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker enough over the years. Throw it up on our Facebook, throw it up on our Twitter, and throw it up on our YouTube. Who do you want to see Shawn Michaels face? Now the headline reads at the bottom of this graphic that I'm using for this week's YouTube video, one more match for Mr. WrestleMania. And to be honest with you, I was kind of hesitant to throw it as a hashtag on our Twitter, because I know it's going to be one of the top trending topics on our Twitter for months leading up to WrestleMania. We've got literally a few months left before WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels has been showing up enough on Raw. He's been involved in enough confrontation with both Punk and Daniel Bryan to lead us to the impression that Shawn Michaels will be in a match this year at WrestleMania. In my opinion, if Shawn Michaels wrestles, it'll be the pure wrestling match of this year's WrestleMania, and it'll be one of the most talked about matches. No matter if he's a fan favorite, no matter if he's a heel, Shawn Michaels is one of the all-time favorite performers, and I mean right now he's supposed to be a heel on WWE television. I mean, he's been, insulting fans. He's been trying to put himself diligently over as a heel. He's got to do something more effective than what he's been doing, because fans are still chanting him, and they're still directing the chants of one more match towards Shawn Michaels. I mean, even in a fucking pathetic promo that CM Punk cut, and it's very rarely that we see CM Punk cut a pathetic promo, CM Punk tried to put himself over as the guy that was going to have one more match to the WWE fans. He said, trust me, I'm going to have one more match left in me, when those chants were directed towards Shawn Michaels to try to even get Shawn Michaels to face CM Punk. The WWE fans, I mean, let's be honest, they don't care who Shawn Michaels faces. They just want to see Shawn Michaels have one more 15-minute match, and in my opinion, with Shawn Michaels having nothing wrong with the way he performs, even though he's criticized by someone who cripples to come down to the ring for his entrance. Even though he's criticized, there's nothing wrong with Shawn Michaels. I mean, yes, he's had countless injuries throughout his career, but I mean, the last time he had a career-threatening injury was back in 1998. He diligently rehabbed through that, and by 2002, 4 years, which in my opinion was nothing, even though they were the longest 4 years of my life, because I was a huge Shawn Michaels fan. In my opinion, in 1998, from 1996 to 1998, Shawn Michaels could not be beaten no matter who he faced. He could face Andre the Giant, The Undertaker, Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, Randy Orton, Alberto Del Rio, Jack Swagger in a 7-on-1 handicap match. He could be in a 16-on-1 handicap match. Don't mean to steal that from CM Punk's recent promo on Raw. But Shawn Michaels, with the benefit of the doubt being given to him, in a 16-on-1 handicap match from 1996 to 1998, could not be beaten. He was the greatest performer of all time, and Jim Ross said, arguably, Shawn Michaels could never be outperformed in a big match situation, and in my opinion, Shawn Michaels to this day still cannot be outperformed in a big match situation, no matter who he faces. From Jack Swagger all the way to Andre the Giant, Shawn Michaels has never been outperformed in a big match situation, and I'm going to go on record for saying that Shawn Michaels will never be outperformed in a big match situation, no matter who he has faced in the past or who he has yet to face. If he does in fact come out of retirement, he will never be outperformed. And regardless of who he faces, if or not he wrestles at WrestleMania, he will not lose to whoever he faces. I want to know who you guys want to see Shawn Michaels face. I know it's been talked about for months. It's been teased, just as Goldberg returning at WrestleMania has been teased, just as The Undertaker returning at WrestleMania, which obviously we know he's going to do. Just as The Rock returning has been teased. Shawn Michaels has been teased so much, either on Twitter with tweets, either with appearances on Raw. It's been talked about endlessly, and in my opinion, as I said here earlier on in the show for this week's video blog, it has got to fucking happen at some point. And at this point in the game, I don't care who Shawn Michaels faces. He can face Triple H. He can face The Rock, which would be, by the way, for the first time ever, given the fact that we've only seen Shawn Michaels and The Rock have two altercations in WWE. Once when he superkicked The Rock for the very first SmackDown, and once on an edition of Raw during the Attitude Era when he revealed himself as the corporate commissioner, when he helped The Rock defeat X-Pac in X-Pac's really only WWE Championship opportunity. That was for an edition of Raw. I believe that actually happened the night after Survivor Series. So in my opinion, I think that Shawn Michaels needs to wrestle, because right now we don't really have any pure wrestling matches to look forward to at WrestleMania. I know it's only early to be making WrestleMania and Royal Rumble predictions, but in my opinion, by at least the Royal Rumble, we've got to know who Shawn Michaels is going to wrestle. Even if Shawn Michaels just comes out and immediately says that I'm going to be facing Daniel Bryan, or I'm going to be facing CM Punk, or even if he costs CM Punk or Daniel Bryan the match of winning the Royal Rumble, at least we'll know that Shawn Michaels is going to wrestle somebody. At least by the Royal Rumble, we've got to know if Brock Lesnar, if Shawn Michaels, if The Rock are going to be involved. I'm tired of hearing rumors of The Rock facing this one, or Shawn Michaels facing this one, or Brock Lesnar facing this one. I'm tired of reading rumors. We've got to get some clarification, and we've got to know at least who Shawn Michaels is going to wrestle, because I'm tired of hearing about it just as all of you are. Shawn Michaels, I want to see him wrestle. He's my all-time favorite, and really right now, there's no other thing for Shawn Michaels to do other than face Shawn Michaels or Daniel Bryan. And if you were to ask me, if you were to come up to me in just general conversation and say, would you like to see Shawn Michaels face Daniel Bryan? Would you like to see Shawn Michaels face CM Punk? Would you like to see Shawn Michaels face CM Punk and Daniel Bryan in a three-way? I obviously would say yes, because I'm a huge Shawn Michaels fan. I've been that way from 1996 to 1998. I mean, Shawn Michaels couldn't be beat. And in my opinion, right now, Shawn Michaels, even though he's retired, is still one of the greatest performers of all time. Arguably, he's one of the top 5 greatest wrestlers of all time. And you may say to yourself, sitting there listening to this, you are fucking crazy. There is no way that Shawn Michaels is better than Ric Flair after Ric Flair held 16 titles, after The Undertaker won 22 plus years at WrestleMania and was never defeated. There is no way that Shawn Michaels is a better wrestler than The Undertaker, the Ric Flairs, the Triple H's, the Goldbergs of the world. But I have this to say to you, go fuck yourself, because Shawn Michaels, in my opinion, is the fucking best. I mean, after the ladder matches with Razor Ramon that he had, after the matches that he had with The Undertaker from 1998 up until 2010, right up until the last time that Shawn Michaels wrestled, there was never a match that Shawn Michaels had that he was ever outperformed in. In my opinion, I got to go with Jim Ross on that one. So Shawn Michaels has got to wrestle, but I want to know who Shawn Michaels is going to wrestle. So I'm going to leave it up to you as fans of this radio show, as fans of this brief video blog. Throw it up for me in the comments. Who do you want to see Shawn Michaels wrestle? I know it's a bit of a mark-out moment for me, and I am in no way, shape, nor form embarrassed to throw this up on our YouTube channel, because I want to see Shawn Michaels wrestle just as the millions of you do, but I also want to know who Shawn Michaels is going to wrestle, so at least by the Royal Rumble we've got to know. So throw it up on our Facebook page at HGW Entertainment, throw it up on our Twitter with the creative hashtag at Jonathan Clarke1, hashtag one more match for Mr. WrestleMania, or throw it up on our YouTube. I've got to know who Shawn Michaels is going to wrestle, so let us know. I will see you next week, and when we come back, I've got some music lined up for you. I've got Seether and The Gift, the acoustic remix of that one. I'll have it for you when we come back.
When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know where to go. WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. Covering all the latest breaking news daily. Interactive forums where you can chat with thousands of other wrestling fans. Exclusive editorials and audio features by some of today's top wrestling superstars. Exclusive video content, weekly polls, live play-by-play coverage of every WWE and TNA pay-per-view. And now, featuring WrestleZone Radio, live with news, in-depth discussions, debates, and interviews with wrestling's top stars, past and present. When you think wrestling, think WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com.
He considers himself God's gift to wrestling, and millions of his faithful agree. With nearly 4 hours of footage and exclusive commentary and matches, this DVD chronicles Daniels' rise from Chicago's Windy City Wrestling to the Asylum in Nashville, and finally to the top of TNA. TNA Home Video presents Heaven Sent, Hell Bound, the best of Christopher Daniels. Available at most retailers and TNAWrestling.com.
Hey, you right there, the one listening to this show. While you're tuning into this broadcast or when you read the news on WrestleZone.com, are you forming opinions of it all? Or do you just agree with everything you see and hear? If you actually have some sort of afterthought, which, by the way, is normal, we want to know what it is. There are thousands of wrestling fans just like you that simply can't hold their thoughts in either, and they let it all out in our interactive forums. You have a voice, so use it. Simply visit forums.WrestleZone.com. Don't just be active, be reactive in the official WrestleZone.com forums. For all the latest in mixed martial arts, be sure to visit WrestleZone's sister site, SureDog.com, complete with daily